Hello, my creeplings. Tonight's is going to be a quick one. This is the stuff from 1985, starring Michael Moriarty, who's done a handful of genre things. The original Troll is one I can think of off the top of my head. Garrett Morris. Anybody remembers him from the early days of Saturday Night Live? And Two Broke Girls, he played Earl, which I think was one of his favorite things he's done. One of my favorite things that he's done. And Paul Sorvino makes an appearance in this one as an Army Colonel. I'm not going to lie, I did not enjoy this one. This was a first time watch for me. I was aware of this one as a child because it had the weirdest looking cover. In my aunt's video store, and you'd walk by it and you're like, that looks gross. Quick overview of the story. Two guys that work at a quarry find this white stuff bubbling up out of the ground. One of the idiots tastes it, figures out, it tastes sweet. They start selling it as a dessert. Turns out that this stuff is actually some kind of possibly extraterrestrial, but definitely a parasite that takes over your mind and eats you up from the inside out. It's very addictive, and everybody soon is addicted to it. You have a little boy named Jason who figures this out early on, and he starts trying to get his family to stop eating it. He destroys displays in the grocery store, or all kinds of stuff like that. At the same time, this guy named Mo Rutherford, excuse me. This is the character played by Michael Moriarty. He's a former FBI agent that has turned into industrial espionage. He's hired by a bunch of ice cream moguls to infiltrate the stuff and figure out what it is and why it's getting their slice of the pie. Again, he figures out somewhat quickly that this is addictive and it's a parasite. He meets up with a guy named Chocolate Chip Charlie, who's a junk food mogul. This is Garrett Morris's character. They work together along with an ad executive who created the ads for the stuff that helped make it so popular. That's what they call this. They call it the stuff. She helps them because she feels guilty. They travel to a small town where it turned into a ghost town. This is where they figure out that the stuff is a parasite. The stuff starts leaving bodies to attack them. The effect is kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie. You get some decent like head desiccations and bleh effects and things like that. Mo's character meets up with Colonel Malcolm Gromit Spears, again played by Paul Sorvino, and his militia. He owns a radio station. They tell the American people what's going on, and soon enough, the world has turned on it. They destroy the quarry that originally it was bubbling up at. It's a weird movie. I may not have gotten it because it's supposed to be a satire on consumerism and junk food and all that from the 80s. Now, I was only 5 when this movie came out. So I don't remember the advertising climate very much and, the consumerism climate at the time. So maybe that's why this is going way over my head. The effects were decent. It's considered a classic, but again, I think this is one you could easily miss unless you're a big fan of Paul Sorvino or Michael Moriarty. Like I said, the effects were pretty decent. Like I said, I just didn't get it. It's very rare that I don't at least get the basics of a story. I kept losing interest. This is a miss for me. This is probably going to be a miss for anyone under the age of definitely under 35, I think. Unless you are really a scholar of what was going on at the time, or you just really like... This thing looked like it was filmed with no budget. Probably didn't have much of a budget. I know it bombed at the box office. Can't remember why, though. Probably because they were hoping to get better numbers because it was supposed to be a satire and everyone just saw it as a generic horror movie. Definitely a little time capsule of what was going on in 85 for when it came to, like, the way houses looked and people were behaving. Michael Moriarty was great. I loved his character. His character was slicker than grease shit coming out of a lotioned up pig. Yes, I showed my country. Sorry. Garrett Morris is a gem, and Paul Sorvino is a gem. Apparently Mira Sorvino was there and did a cameo for a day because she's visiting her dad. This is one of her earliest roles, but I didn't catch her. She's supposed to be a guard at a factory. I kept expecting more. For everything I had heard about this film, I kept expecting more, and I was just really let down. I guess if you go into it not expecting anything other than a Parasite movie, you'd be better off. But I've watched better Parasite movies. We did one on this channel already. Slither. Great Parasite movie. Night of the Creeps, also from the 80s. I want to say it was probably about the same time. Maybe a little bit later. Definitely a better Parasite movie. And I'm sure there are others that I haven't seen that are better. This one was a no-go for me, guys. If you liked it and you can tell me what I missed about it, feel free to comment. I'm not saying don't watch it, because you'll want your time back, but I'm saying there's better things out there, in my humble opinion. It is on the Internet Archive if you want to find it. That's where I found it. Mine was subtitled in Spanish, which was really distracting to me as well, so that might be half the problem. Yeah, sorry guys. I thought this would be better, and I thought we'd have a better review for this, but this is a quickie. I didn't like it. I'm probably not going to watch it again unless I decide to revisit it with more knowledge or to contrast and compare with something else. But yeah, this one's a no-go. Sorry guys. So I'm going to leave you on that note. Hopefully tomorrow's video will be better. I think it will be. I've seen most of the films that I'm planning on reviewing from now till the end of the season. So it'll either be a second watch because I haven't watched it in a while, or it'll be one of those I've seen 5 or 6 times. I'm just rewatching to refresh my memory. So on that note, I'm just going to say good night, my creeplings. Thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye.